Okay guys, today we're going to look at material simulation, wood, and when you do wood, bamboo, very similar approaches. So let's start with this first and then move on to kind of the slats that way. So first let's look at how to create the color for this particular wood, and that's going to take some time just to find the right markers. But let's start with a square. And let me show you how easy this really is. Well, not a square, a rectangle, right? And let's draw this other wood. Right, let's just pretend it's a chunk of wood. Okay, we'll do that. And I'm gonna just give this a little more definition like this. Like these are planks. Right, the flanks of the wood. So already this is going to help the drawing. Now, I'm going to do this and give some like you would say texture to the wood right now. And I'm just using a standard ballpoint pen, black. I would go over this usually with color pencil or whatever color I see the grain in my particular sample. So remember, you're going to be using a sample to go off of. But I'm going to kind of go with you, kind of give you a little journey on how to kind of build up these colors. Now, believe it or not, to get to that color, I use Cool Gray 2, 3. I use this type of orange, Flesh, and Mocha to get there. My Cool Gray, it should be a Warm Gray because it ran out. My Cool Gray is running out as well. But what I want to show you is start creating streaks with your marker, right? Maybe this side is going to be darker right here. So I'm going to go over a little bit more, right? Maybe I'll leave this just like this, just like it is right there. And that's it, I'll leave it just like that. That's the 2. And then I want to get the 3. And I want to say it's darker in that edge as well. And I want to say it's dark here. Very dark. So I'm going to put 2 strokes in there. See? And I'm going to keep one line. I'll double that here. Right. And here 1 line. And I'm going to make it darker at that edge. But just 1 stroke, not 2 strokes. If I want to make the center darker, or the edge, if I go over it one more time, you're going to see how it gets darker. I'm going to make that edge darker as well. You see? So now we have a foundation of the color. I'm going to get the Flesh just to put some tone on some of the areas right here. And then I'm going to get this orange color. Go through some strategic areas, right? Some strategic areas, not maybe everywhere. Strategically, some areas, so you can have variation of color. Then I want to get the darkest color, the Mocha. Similarly, what I did with the Warm Gray 3, see how there's a darker center there? I'm going to go over it right here, just before I start, right there. Just like that. Now what I'm going to do is take an even stroke and go through the entire wood sample. And then we're going to get something like that. Right? And if you notice, when this starts to dry up, right, you start seeing the variation of the color on the wood. To create the grain, that you see the effect there, I'm using the same pen. Wait for the marker to dry, and you start creating, right, lightly. You're not making lines like this. You're kind of like just lightly creating kind of this movement stippling effect. But you begin to see kind of the grain of the wood happening there. Like I said, if it's more, you would say the same tone as the wood, maybe you get a color pencil and you start creating that edge. But you leave it that way, and then to kind of see how well you did, I always recommend get a white piece of paper, some post-it notes, kind of cover the 4 corners, and then you'll be able to see your artwork a little clear. Like that's the sample we want to see. Right, that's the sample we want to see right there. And I hope you can see it clearly, but it has a pretty good representation of wood right there. Now how do we transfer that to here? Same type of buildup. Right, I'm using the same type of buildup. The 2, the 3, flesh, the orange, and the mocha. Right, same type of buildup. And I'm gonna be kind of be similar like I did here. This is kind of the 2 lighter here. It was gonna be darker toward the center here. All right, so I'm gonna get a little darker here. And then there was some 2 over here going on here as well. I'm gonna put some more marker all over here. Then I'm gonna use a 3. Right, and I'm gonna make that darker here. Take darker. And then this whole area, I wanted that to be dark. Even coming down here. Alright. And here I'm just gonna make a line. Dark. Maybe I'll bring this line from here and leave it just like that. And this side, this edge, I'm gonna make that a little bit dark as well. And I'm gonna go over this twice. So you create some patterns that are happening like you see in this one. You see these patterns occurring there. Let me get the flesh now. Put some tonality color on it. And you can tell this flesh is almost running out. And then let me get that orange.
Nicholas Kanellakis and David Finkel were the cellists. And that does it for this edition of the Chamber Music Society of Lincoln Center. New program coming your way.
Now, same thing I did on this side. I want to get the mocha and I want to go over all the areas. Now, one of the best tricks I have, like if you have an edge, like a real crisp edge, and you want to create that edge, I'll put a post-it note there. That way I don't have to worry about having to stop exactly. I know the center, I want the center to be darker than anybody else, so I'm going to go over that already twice. Right? And I'm going to get and do this edge here as well. Just for my purpose. Right. So, I want to go like this. Go through it. I want to go quickly. Quickly, 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 quickly. And here, I'm going to go at it, go a little darker. Then I want to come down. Pull these away. And then you kind of have the outline of the wood. I want to make it a little darker. I feel like I have too much orange going on here. So I'll do that, right? And here as well. At the edge. And I'm gonna take a cool gray 5, which is darker. And I wanna make these tones a little bit darker over here on this edge. Because this side is not gonna have that much light hitting it. So it's going to be a little bit darker. And if I pull that, you'll begin to see the variation of the color of the wood, similar to what we have here. I'll just finalize this by creating some kind of textures. This is kind of like the wood planks happening here, right? And then if there's actually any grain, I can begin to put the grain. Again, with color pencil, I'm using this so you can see a little bit clearer. Right, you kind of see how these grains are happening in here. Right, and we get, oh, that's a straight grain. It's like a scratch. And there you guys, your particular wood in more of a three-dimensional scenario. Going from this, right, we're going from this to this. And I want you guys to feel comfortable doing it. So go ahead, try it. Me explaining it took around, I would say, 10 minutes. So on your own, give yourself a good 30 minutes. Try it twice, right? And be relaxed as you do this and enjoy the process.